So we're going to look at 13 different camera angles you can learn and practice to help improve your composition and your framing, and 7 camera movements you can learn and practice to give your shots a more cinematic kind of movie style feel to them. Let's first look at the establishing shot. This is a really big, as wide as you can get, showing the surrounding areas so we can really know where we're at and what's going on. Usually you see movies start off with these establishing shots that kind of are getting closer to our setting. They're kind of start far away. Maybe they're aerials like this that I shot with a drone, and you just kind of bring it into the setting. So maybe the next scene would be inside the house, but first we see the outside so we know where we're at. Let's look at the master shot. It has a lot to do with the setting as well, setting it up, but it's a little closer, not quite as wide, so it's a master shot. So a medium close-up is really kind of more or less the chest area up to the top of the head. And I like to shoot medium close-ups and mix them with close-ups and wide and full shots. But here you can see it's just kind of a medium is chest up to the head. And then we have our low angle. You take your camera and you kind of hold it down and point it up toward your subject. Gives a sense of strength and power, authority. And eye level, just take the camera and put it right there, straight horizontally across at your subject so you feel like you're looking directly across at them at eye level. And then your close-ups, kind of just like it sounds, come in more just kind of the head. And I go from a close-up like this to another kind of a medium close-up, and then I go back to a tight close-up like this, and then maybe I'll alternate to a wide or a full. See how I alternate from my medium to my close-ups. And I like to do more medium to give more of the environment and the backdrop of where you're at, because when you go close you lose where you're at. And then point of view, these are fun to do, so I'm kind of following and you can kind of see forward the direction he's walking, get a feel like you're on the track walking right there next to him. You're looking out of the eyes of the person and you're looking and seeing their hands, and it feels like you're like the person walking around. Kind of an interesting shot to have some fun with, give a little bit of a different perspective. And wide, full, and long. So here is from the actual feet up to the head. So that is a wide, or some people call it full, or some people call it long. What I think about it is see the environment, see all the buildings, and you can see everything around. When you pull back wide, you start bringing that in, so it adds more to the shot. See how I come back almost from the waist up to the head, and I'm spinning around, and I got a lot of room above the head to get what's going on. Here I got that nice bust behind, so you want to get the environment, and there's a really nice cool wall with some graffiti, so it's not just the subject but the environment as well. And we've got some activity going on, some bushes here, which you frame your subject to where using the rule of thirds, it opens up that left side where we can see the man and his dog and their bike on the railroad tracks there. So that's a little bit of a look at wide and full and long. Some people call it different things, just whatever you feel. But add variety and mix your shots up. Don't always shoot with the same one. Dark Voyeur, this is where you take your camera and you peer around something, so it kind of gives it a look like you're trying to look over around something at somebody, kind of spying on them kind of feel, and it blurs out what's in front of the camera, but the person you're filming is in focus. Here's another sample here where we kind of got this wall there and kind of lurking around. Now, depth staging, this is one that's a little bit tricky. You have something in the foreground. There's the motorcycle cop there, his bike. Here is the city in the background, and there's like the angle of the street makes it seem really distant in depth. Here again, the building back there and the road going back. There's the Capitol again. So that's depth staging. This last one you're going to see here is really creative. So there's movement. It's a combination of moves. He's kind of moving through. It's a follow. Depth staging, you see the trees, and some are blurred, some aren't. So really kind of a creative shot. Have fun with it. Medium close-up, we come back to this again. We got the chest. This is mixed now. I want to start showing you how I'm doing a low angle up as well as a medium close-up of the chest up to the head. follow shots. So you can be walking backwards, you can be walking sideways. You can walk backwards here like I'm doing there, but be a little bit careful when you do that so you don't get tripped up and drop something. Now we're going to follow into a door. Extreme close-up, just like it sounds. So first I start full or wide so we get the environment, we know where we're at. And then I'll go into a close-up so you can see the detail of what you're seeing. And then I'll go back out to another full or wide shot like this one here. And then after we see a few moments of that, I'll go into another close-up. I like to give a good 5 or 10 seconds for each clip. I try not to do too much shorter. Depending on the momentum and the pace, that's where we get into editing and thinking about durations of clips. But when you're filming B-roll or filming something, get good durations. You can always make it shorter. It's harder to make short video longer. You have to slow it down, slow motion. Sometimes it kind of doesn't have the right feel. Here's another eye level shot. So it's just basically, you can tell it's kind of a handheld shot. Just kind of there with a kind of a medium close-up kind of chest to head. And a little bit of camera movement, shaking a little bit, so you can tell it's kind of handheld. Some people like that style versus always being on a tripod. Here's another low-angle shot. And again, it conveys strength, conveys power, capability, authority. And, of course, he's working out, so you want to kind of make it feel like, he's strong. And you kind of go a little bit lower up, kind of adds to the challenge and difficulty. Dutch angle, take your camera and tilt it. See the horizon, the couch back there, the horizon isn't level. That's because the camera is literally tilted. So do some Dutch angles. It can show confusion or just kind of disarray, chaos, that kind of thing. A little bit of a different feel. Pan and tilt, I like these. So I'm starting from the right, opening up the room, panning it to the left, and I'm getting wider as I'm panning. Here's another to the left, kind of a roll pan, and then I'm going to do a little tilt. So there's a Dutch angle, and I'll bounce it back out, and I'm going to go into going from the head down to the feet. So just kind of hold the camera steady and slide it down, and there you got those nice cool socks. I am panning from one side over to the other instead of just a flat shot. 360-degree motion, you literally encircle your subject, go around. This shot is also a extreme close-up or close-up, not quite extreme. It's a little bit close for comfort there. I would have pulled back a little bit, but I went all the way around the subject. Compound motion includes several different things. So here's a rising. You feel like you're taking off kind of in a helicopter or a lift. Here's a moving forward shot, approaching. Here's a follow shot going right into the classroom with the student. Pull back shot, get really close. You don't know what you're looking at, and as you pull back, you reveal what you were looking at. So zoom in really close, extreme, and then slowly pull back to reveal the room or the environment, or reverse it and go wide in, but I like starting close up. Here's the same kind of feel, like we don't really know exactly who all's there, and then I kind of pull back here a little and we get a better view of the student and the surrounding areas.